Good morning. And welcome to our ABB Automation and Power World 2015. We're delighted you're here. We have an outstanding program over the next few days, which kicks off this morning in Houston. A very warm welcome to our customers, our distributor partners, our technology partners, the press, media that's here with us, a number of universities that are joining, and in addition to government officials that are also with us. I think you'll be delighted in what you see coming today. But first, as we start work at ABB, and I know you do the same in your business, we start with safety. So we have a large gathering, over 8,000 people, a record-breaking attendance. And thank you for that. So we work safely or we stop and fix what's unsafe. So as you go throughout the event, we all look out for each other, and especially we look out for ourselves. Note the numbers here to dial. 911 is always an option, but is actually not the best option in this venue. Instead, it's 8087 from a house phone or the phone number here, and it's also found on the APW app if you don't have the number handy. So we're gathered on the 3rd floor of the George R. Brown, a great place to have something like this, but it's also quite large. So this is where you are now in Hall B3. And when you look at this, there are exits all around the perimeters, and the arrows point you towards those. And in the case of an emergency, we're not expecting one, but if it were to happen, please use the stairs. Now, you may notice coming in that there's some construction going on. It's mainly affecting the 2nd floor, which we will not be using, but we also operate on the 1st floor with our Technology and Solution Center. And so again, the perimeter areas, find the stairs, and move outside, and we will gather there. So let's talk just a minute about Automation and Power World. First started as Automation World. We combined the event in 2009 to bring together the full portfolio and the solutions of ABB across the entire technology as we saw automation and power converging in terms of how it's applied in industry and also in our utilities. The attendance has gone up by twice, 116% over the last 5 years. We have 73 countries here of customers that have come together and supported by all levels of ABB, including our CEO, which I'll introduce in just a minute. But with that, we have our technical experts, we have our R&D folks, our executive committee, our America's leadership team, and just people that are dedicated to making your business even better as we go into the future. We're really excited that our distributor attendance, which is a big part of our value equation to make sure we're very local and we support you in the right way, has grown by 46% from last year. So let's talk just a minute about our keynote speaker. Ulrich Spiesshofer is with us for the opening talk of Automation and Power World. He's been the CEO of ABB since September of 2013, but been with ABB for much longer than that. Ulrich has had a number of roles. He led one of our largest divisions, the Discrete Automation and Motion Division, and that's one that's had really strong expansion. This is where the Baldor acquisition took place, where we've grown our drives business so aggressively, where we're also doing our solar inverters, and you'll see more about that later. Prior to that, he was the head of corporate development and strategy, corporate strategy, heading up our supply chain initiative, also M&A, and our OpEx. How do we drive quality? How do we drive our execution in ABB to be even stronger? He's got degrees in economics, business administration, as well as engineering. And he will talk about how we take ABB to the next level.
For 120 years, our technology has been driving the modern world. From power plants to industrial robots, transport to control systems. The modern world is powerful. The world is changing. And we're driving that change. Across the globe, with a staff of more than 145,000, ABB continues to lead the way in power and automation. empowering utility companies with a new generation of renewable energy, pioneering high-voltage direct current transmission to send more power further than ever before, automating the industry of tomorrow with more industrial robots in operation than anyone else, enabling transport and infrastructure from revolutionary ship propulsion to electric vehicle charging. In 120 years, ABB's businesses have never stopped innovating, shaping the world of the future, from the power plant to your plug point. ABB, taking power and productivity to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ulrich Spiesshofer, CEO of ABB.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, what a crowd. I grew up in a small town in southwest Germany, and the only time when we had that amount of people around was when the little town was playing the neighboring town on soccer. So this is quite exciting for me and brings up some very warm memories of big crowds here. So welcome to ABB, to our automation and power world. More than 200,000 feet of exhibition space, meeting space, more than 8,000 people around here working together and seeing what we do in automation and power, how we bring ABB towards the next level in serving you as our customers who allow us to be in business. I wanted to use the opportunity this morning to talk about three things. Who is ABB? What do we see going on in the world around us? And what can we do jointly to grasp the opportunities here in North America, in this wonderful part of the world? Now, let me quickly go back and share with you the ABB of today, who we are. When you go outside on the exhibition space, when you look at all the different meetings that we have, the different trainings, you see a very, very large corporation with a lot to offer. And sometimes it's very important to take a step back and explain in simple terms where we are and who we are, to articulate the value proposition clear. I can tell you myself, I had the challenge about 18 months ago when I got elected by the board of directors. I called up my mom and told her, look, Mom, I just got elected CEO. And she said, oh, that's great, my boy. Can you please tell me what your company does? And I said to her, well, it does drives, low voltage drives, medium voltage drives, it does large drives, it does motors, it does robotics, and does power products, it does transformers. And she said, hold on a second, can't you say this in simpler ways? And I think it's very important when you run a large corporation, we need to be able to articulate in simple terms who we are and what we do. So here it comes. Who is ABB in simple terms? What we do as ABB is quite simply to be described. We do power and automation for utilities, industry, and transport and infrastructure. And we do that globally. That's ABB in simple terms. If you look at this 40 billion, 140,000 people giant, we do about 40% of our business in power, about 60% in automation. And it has changed quite a bit because the last decades, the automation businesses and the automation market has outgrown the power market while still being the number one in T&D and maintaining that position very strongly. If you look at our end customer segments, utility is about a third, industry is about 50%, and transport and infrastructure, a growing segment which is highly attractive for us that we are focusing on very strongly with our strategy, with our actions. And if we look at ABB globally, one reason that we have weathered the storm of the financial crisis and all the challenges of the recent years since the Lehman crisis in 2008 is our nicely split global portfolio with about a third in Europe, a third in the Americas, a third in Asia, Middle East, Africa. So that's ABB, your global partner with a very strong North American activity. Where do we go with our company? When you take over, it's very important to sometimes change things, but also to build on things that have worked very well. ABB's vision for many years has been power and productivity for a better world. And there is no better time to articulate exactly that value proposition and make sure we work on that. But what does it really mean, this power and productivity for a better world? Power. We are a leader in addressing the power needs of any customer segments, whether it's utilities, whether it's industry, or whether it's transport and infrastructure. ABB is a global partner in helping you addressing the needs of end customers in this in the power segment. On the productivity side, we are a leader in supporting operational asset effectiveness to help to drive uptime, speed, and yield with a very strong focus on efficiency and energy efficiency. So that's the power and automation piece. What does the better world really mean? And what does ABB do for the world? Very simply, we help to decouple economic growth from environmental pollution. With our energy efficient offering, be it the motors, the drives that we have, we can produce a certain amount of output with high energy efficiency, so less energy per unit of output is the first driver. And the second driver for a better world is to produce this energy, which is still needed, in an environmentally friendly way and transport it without a lot of losses, being it on the T&D side, being it on our renewables offering on wind and solar. So decoupling economic growth from environmental pollution is one of the biggest challenges of mankind, and it's something that ABB is right in the middle to support its customers with. So this is what we do for the world and who we are. But running a large corporation and dealing with the customers the way we want to deal with you is also that we share our values. Meaning, how do we run this company? What's the underlying pattern of behavior that you can rely on ABB will be acting on? I'm happy to share with you our values. And basically, we have formed 5 value pairs that we believe are framing very nicely how we want to run this company in the future. Greg opened his presentation today with safety. It's very close to my heart. So the first value pair is really safety and integrity. We want to serve you in a safe way, and we want to make sure we do this in a very ethical way. Where there is no safety and integrity guaranteed, we will not operate and pull the plug. If anyone in this room ever sees a situation where we don't fulfill this too, please let us know and stop the operation. Everybody has the license to act on this one. This is paramount and a key foundation. The second value pair is about you. It's customer focus, and it's quality. Making sure, I call it die for Q, delivery in full, on time, at the right quality. We need to get to you, and we need to have an even stronger focus on you as our end customers. Later on, I will talk about some changes that we have made to enhance the customer focus and the customer intimacy in ABB. Ownership and performance. We want our people to act as if they own the company, and we want people to be empowered to perform towards you as close as possible to the customers. So this is not a headquarter-driven company. This is a company where we want to have enablement very strongly out there in the field, where people in day-to-day operations work with our customers. And they need to feel the ownership and the performance ambition that we have. Without innovation, we would not be where we are today. If you look at the more than 120-year history of ABB, we have had many hallmarks on innovation. The first to have HVDC, high voltage direct current power transmission. The first to come out with industrial robots. And there are many, many more that we could articulate. The continuous focus on innovation at the right pace is paramount. So we need to continue to work on increasing our speed. The world is changing rapidly, and so are we. And the last value pair is about the way we want to deal with you. We want to work with you. We want to engage. We want to have a strongly collaborative culture where we work together inside and across the entire value chain with all of you. Now, collaboration is not possible without trust. And let me express to you today a very warm thank you for the trust that you have given us for 120 years now, the trust that you demonstrate with your presence here today. We will honor this, and we will not let you down going forward. So this is the frame. Who are we? What do we do for the world? And what are our values? Where do we take the company? ABB is a strong company, as you know. And when we looked at how we're going to develop the company over the next years, we said, okay, first, we are very well positioned in attractive markets. So there is no need to fundamentally change the portfolio and sell apart and buy medical or consumer electronics. That's not what we will do. We will keep the strong position. We will nurture it in the attractive markets that we are. But we will drive 3 focus areas. We will drive profitable growth, relentless execution, and business-led collaboration. Now, what does that really mean for you as customers? What should you expect from us? Number 1, on the profitable growth side, we will continue working with you, serving you with good service levels, and we will relentlessly work on improving them. We will also change our value proposition to you by expanding it. We build on our strengths on the hardware piece, and we will expand more on the services and software piece. On the execution side, yes, we are doing not badly, but we are humble enough that we understand there are many opportunities for us to improve on quality, on speed, on reliability, and we got to put that right in the focus of the second focus area. And the third topic, how we're going to work, is on business-led collaboration. Our businesses are all empowered to work stronger with you, collaborate closer, and make sure we get good momentum in serving you. To do this, we have simplified the organization of ABB. We have brought the market closer to the decision makers. The large customers, for example, are today one step away from me. The large customer, the large accounts of ABB are directly reporting into executive committee members who are reporting to me. So we are closer to the market than ever before. So with this strategy, we could say, okay, speech over, all done, but let me share a couple of more details what you can expect of ABB going forward. I said we are very well positioned, and if you take the 3 end customer segments, utilities, industry, and transport and infrastructure, we have many number 1 positions in our markets, but we are humble enough to understand that we are not everywhere number 1, and sometimes it's very difficult to defend the number 1 position. It's even more difficult to keep away with complacency and make sure we're keeping the focus on driving and maintaining a very strong position. Whether it's on the utility side, with our very strong transmission and distribution offering, with our very large installed base, whether it's on the industry side, where we are definitely number 1 in distributed control systems, where we are a strong robotics player, where we have a lot to offer with our applications know-how, where we have great actuation capabilities between our motors and drives business. Or when you look into transport and infrastructure, where ABB today is, for example, the number 1 in electrical propulsion for ships. And when you look at our growth pattern in 2014, one of the key growth drivers was the success in serving you as customers in that segment. So altogether, a well-positioned company. Now, why do we believe the markets are attractive that we are in? Let me just share with you a simple number. The total end market of ABB today is about $600 billion annually. And that market will grow by 3 to 4 ABBs in the next years until 2020. So for US customers, it's probably exciting because your segments are growing very strongly. For us, it's very exciting because we can help you with the key drivers of growth. On the utility side, where it's the move to renewables, more grid automation. On the industry side, whether it's the next level of energy efficiency and productivity. Or on the transport and infrastructure side, where it's all around urbanization, energy efficiency, and more electric transport in the world. So, summing ABB up globally, we are a true global player. Nicely split, but we are a highly diverse player. In the top 200 of ABB, in the top 200 management, we have more than 27, in fact, different nationalities from all different continents of the world. We have 3/4 of our leadership in the top 200 is not from the two founding countries, Sweden and Switzerland. So we know your markets, and when you look at the North American team here, we have true American colleagues which are deeply rooted in this market, and I'm extremely proud to have such a strong local team here serving you in North America and the Americas all together. So in the Americas, we have about 11.5 billion of turnover. If you move on to North America as a part of the Americas, this is a true success story in the last years. And I would like to congratulate Greg and his entire team, all the friends here, but I would also thank the customers in the room for allowing us to serve you and growing while serving you. If you take the sales, we have more than doubled the sales since 2014. A part of that is organic growth, and a part of that is inorganic growth. We are one of the largest employers with more than 26,000 people now. And we have really, truly localized our value chain. So we are ready to serve you from a fully integrated local value chain in this market, which is a key differentiator in terms of agility, in terms of market understanding, and the customer requirements that we have. If you take the map of North America and you put needles in where ABB is all active, more than 100 manufacturing and engineering sites, more than 40 additional service centers in addition to this more than 100 sites. So we are close to you, and we have invested very heavily to get going in that space. In fact, we are now just putting in one more additional investment on the low voltage side. Tarak and his team are putting up a major expansion for power products and low voltage power products here in North America. And the investment will create another 300 jobs. So we are not only taking our responsibility in serving you, but we are also taking our responsibility as a local citizen, growing additional jobs here in this environment. So I talked a lot about growth. We have not only grown by doing our organic homework, we have deployed a lot of capital. If you sum it up, in the last years, we have deployed more than $10 billion of capital. And what did we do with the money? We bought strong companies that complement ABB's offering. Whether it's the former Ventix, we call it now ABB Enterprise Software, which basically helps us to address asset management and operational software opportunities in your home base. Whether it's Baldor, the leader in NEMA standard electrical motors here in North America, whether it's Thomas & Betts, a leader on the low voltage product side, or Power One, now called ABB Solar Solutions, where we have invested in solar inverter capability to have more strength on the renewable side. So we continuously work to have more to offer to you and be more relevant for your needs here in North America. So that's ABB globally and in North America. What do we see going on around ourselves? What's happening in the world? Now I could talk all day about all the risks that we are seeing. And basically, if you take the risks today, the financial crisis is not over. We have a lot of uncertainty around political and ethnic related wars and instability. We have a battle around energy. And we have definitely the health crisis in Africa around Ebola. So there's a very unstable world at the moment. But what are the big themes in our space that we are seeing? We basically see a big shift, both in power and in automation. And what do we mean by that? If you take the power value chain, the generation mix is changing, more challenges on transmission and distribution, and the emergence of microgrids. On the automation side, the Internet of everything, people, services, and things, is really offering additional opportunities, and ABB is at the forefront. Now, let me offer to you a perspective on these two large shifts. Let's start with the big shift in the power value chain. What's happening? Generation complexity is going up. Renewables are predicted to have about 40% share of installed base in 2035. That's only 20 years out. That's not far away. And what does renewables, what do they really do to the grid and to the power generation mix? There will be less predictability, more volatility, and more distance, because you cannot put a wind or solar power plant in the middle of Houston. You have to go outside. And that means you have longer distance to overcome. You have also, you cannot tell the sun, today has to be a very sunny day or a foggy day. This is something in terms of predictability, which is more difficult. So this means into the grid comes a huge amount of increased complexity. More feed-in points, more two-way power flows, a lot of control and information needs that we have. So it's a completely different challenge in running a grid today than in the past. And on the more local level, microgrids and nanogrids inside the buildings, microgrids connecting different pieces, really are a key growth driver. There's about 1 billion people in the world that don't have access to electricity. About 600 million in sub-Saharan Africa, about 400 million in India. There's a tremendous opportunity to do more. But if I look at North America, there's a fantastic opportunity to combine microgrids, where you feed in renewables, with the overall grid. So altogether, we are moving away from the traditional grid to a new grid of the world. The new grid means we have bidirectional power flow. It's going all directions. It means we're moving away from the classic one-way, one power generation, monodirectional flow, and we have much more control and automation challenges than we had in the past. So we're moving from the historic grid to what we call the digital grid, where we really have much more challenges on the control side than ever before. The second big shift is happening in automation. And in automation, if you look today where we stand, I call it simply, we are at the fourth industrial revolution. The first one was to have a steam engine. The second one was to have conveyor belts to do assembly. The third one was around PLCs and electronics and software-based control. And the fourth now is really around connecting things, people, and services through what we call the Internet of Things. And ABB is at the forefront driving that change as well. First, you might not have known that, but about 50% of ABB's offering today is already software-based. In fact, it's more than 50%. So we are already naturally in this space, and we have been living it for many, many years. And now, with the uptake on digitalization, with the affordability of sensors, with better connectivity and more bandwidth, there are tremendous opportunities to take out waste of the supply chain, provide more uptime, speed, and agility. And that's what you want, and that's what we are ready to serve you with. But there's something else going on. Not only the Internet of Things, something else. There's a new collaboration model between machines and man. And interesting, if you look at our newest robot pilot, and we're going to unveil it in the first half year of this year for commercial purposes, it's the Yumi robot. What does this robot do? It works together with a human being. It is well coordinated, it can sense, it does not need a cage anymore. So we let the robot out of the cage and we let it really work together with people in a much better way. Now, a lot of people are afraid about robots and what they mean to jobs. If you take the 3 highest density robotization countries of the world, the countries that have the highest robot share in automation, in industry, Japan, South Korea, and Germany, they have among the lowest unemployment rates. So this is not about killing jobs. This is about creating competitiveness and have men and machines working together in a successful way to enable a better competitiveness. And you have seen us taking many investments here in North America. We will do more here to ensure we support this beautiful part of the world. So with these big shifts on the power and automation side, what can you expect from us? What will we do for you to make sure we can serve you well also in the future? If you take ABB today and look at your value chain, you plan, you build, and you operate. And today, the majority of our efforts goes into providing products, solutions, systems into the build phase of your activity. And that's a strength of ABB. We will nurture that strength and make sure we are up to date and have leading edge offering. But what we will also do in the future, we will become more relevant at the front and the end of your value chain. We want to become a stronger planning partner in the plan and design phase of your activities. We have today already Robot Studio, we have grid planning, and we will do more in terms of tools, be it on the design side or the technical consulting side, to help you even stronger in driving your value chain in a very efficient way. And we are also investing in supporting you stronger on the operations side, whether it's on the software-based services, whether it's on asset management. This is an opportunity for us that we have identified to serve you even better, and we take that as one of the key areas to expand our value proposition to you as our customers in the future. Building on our strengths means we take our huge offering and our wide portfolio in power and automation that is being provided by our 5 divisions to you, and make sure we are not only standing still, we continuously innovate and do more for you in the product, solutions, and systems that we offer for the build phase of your operations. And you see here as an example what we can offer in power and automation in the 3 end segments of utilities, industry, and transport and infrastructure. We will continue to invest. We're spending about $1.5 billion every year on R&D. And by the way, we are the only company in our industry that has not cut this down since the Lehman crisis. Quite the opposite. We have constantly grown our R&D spend every year, despite a financial crisis going out there, because we believe very strongly you can expect from us new, better stuff that serves you better, so we keep the investment going. And we support these 2 big shifts, whether it's on the electrical value chain, with some microgrid solutions, with our new cable technology, or on the industrial side, we support it very strongly. Just to give you one small example on innovation, our new 525 kV high voltage power cable, you might say, well, what does it really do? Big deal. Well, if you bring hydropower from Canada to New York, historically you would have needed 2 trenches and 2 cables to get the power down at a sufficient amount. Today, with the new cable, 1 trench, 1 time digging, much less risk. So that's a fantastic innovation that saves cost for you, and we provide more value add in that field. So we will strengthen the core activities on product, solutions, and systems. But we will also do a better job and strengthen our service capabilities. Imagine you have 2 robots installed in a butcher shop or in a slaughterhouse somewhere in northern Montana, where you take apart bisons for consumption. Let's assume one of these robots starts to shake in axis number 3. The robot calls up our robot service center and says, I have a problem. That service center compares this information with historical operating data and said, okay, given that pattern, we can expect this robot to break down within 62 hours. We dispatch the crew goes out there, the person has never been in that type of environment, he takes his iPad, puts it on streaming, walks through the factory, and shows it to the safety advisor in the operations center that tells him, be careful, there are 2 hazards, please make sure you take them out before you get in operation. That's what we are doing, and we'll do more in terms of service capabilities. But we will also drive more enterprise asset management capabilities. We have them today already. In fact, if you look at the recent ARC study, we came out number 1, and that's not surprising, on asset management and workforce solutions for power generation, for T&D, and for the mining and natural resource industry. So we're going to build on that strength. We will continuously bring out new products. We have a blockbuster product in our value proposition today on enterprise asset management. We call it Ellipse. That's basically the key product. We call it the Kassenschlager or the blockbuster, which helps to drive in large installed asset bases uptime, speed, reliability. And I would like to invite you to take a look at that one. And the third point that I want to make here in terms of the portfolio is our energy portfolio management software, which has been deployed by more than 400 customers. Go out there and take a look what we have today. We have unique insight into power market data. We got great simulations and operation software, which really helps us to advise you on how to run your assets, how to deploy capital in a much better way, in a much more streamlined and focused way than in the past. Now, we are not perfect. And sometimes when you realize there's an opportunity out there, you might want to go out and find a partner to address this opportunity together. One of the areas where we have a significant opportunity is the data center space, where you know ABB has been active for many, many years. And I'm really proud to announce to you today, and we went out with the press release this morning, that Ericsson and ABB are forming a global partnership to team up on data center solutions. The capabilities of Ericsson on the communication side and the capabilities of ABB on power and automation, the global reach, the opportunities that we have are unmatched. And this will really give us a major step forward in partnering and having even more to offer you if you are active in that space of the world. So that's the global activities. Let me close out with some thoughts on North America. We want to do basically 2 simple things. We want to enable you to become better, stronger, and we are committed to do this jointly with you. The 3 key growth areas at the moment in North America are around energy independence, the next stage of industrialization. Some people call it re-industrialization of the US, and I don't agree with that. You have never been non-industrialized, so it's the next stage of industrialization. And the third one is around a sustainable energy value chain. Now, on the energy independence, we have a very proud offering on power and automation. And let me share with you one example. And in fact, it's a gas cycling plant in Point Thompson, which is a really rough environment. If you go up to Alaska, it's really, really cold, and that excludes then the wind chill factor, and then it gets really even colder. So we have an integrated power and automation solution up there installed that reduces the cost and the risk of operation. And the broad offering that we have really helps to get this plant going, which contributes significantly to the energy independence of North America. On the next stage of industrialization, there's a lot of activity going into mine sites and deploying mine activities. And if you take the capabilities that we have, again, powering up the mine and running it at high uptime, speed, and yield. Here is Mount Milligan, a copper mine up in Canada. This is another one, good one, that brings together all the capabilities and drives industrialization of the value chain to the next level. Whether it's our gearless mill drives that we have, whether it's our motors and conveyor solutions, whether it's the service that we are offering, we are strongly positioned to help in that area. And thirdly, on the sustainable energy value chain, you know we are a leader in providing transmission and distribution capabilities. We have invested continuously in capabilities in this field, and we are ready to serve you even stronger in cases like the Maritime Link that basically connects different islands here in North America and brings it all together. Renewable power generation solutions are there to come and stay and come even stronger. We are leading capable players in that one. And we have strong investments on the grid technology side going forward. So, what can we do for you? Summing it up. There are fantastic growth opportunities for you out there, and we are ready to deploy our people, our capital, our energy and commitment to serve you in this high growth opportunity environment. We will continue to invest and make sure we are shifting our value proposition to you to stay and always be the leading power and automation partner for you as our customers. And as you can sense, with the full presence of the executive committee here in the room of ABB globally, and with all the investments that we are taking in this event, hopefully you feel we are very strongly committed to this market, and we are there to stay for at least another 120 years. Thank you very much. So I gave you the global perspective and shared with you a couple of thoughts on North America. But I will not be as arrogant to say I know North America better than Greg Scheu, our fearless leader here in the Americas. So I hand over to Greg, who will share with you a little bit more what this all means for this market here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ulrich. Thank you very much, Uli, and a fantastic opening to Automation and Power World 2015. I think you sense the energy, the excitement for what we're doing in the company and the direction we're headed. Now let's take a few minutes to talk about what that means for the Americas. You feel the support, and Uli and I have worked very closely over his career in ABB and really teamed up on what more we can do for our customers in this market. So taking a look at these expanded capabilities, and you can look at it from different dimensions. First, on service. Service is very important, making sure we're ready reactively and proactively to support our customers in this market. And you can see here the growth. It's not just about service itself, but it's about the value proposition of ABB is in this for the long term. And we want to be there as customers are making investments over decades that we continue to support you to get the most out of your assets year after year. Second, it's in our R&D staff. This is really at the core of ABB and how we continue to invest and grow. And you can see the numbers here are global numbers, but the R&D capabilities localizing in the Americas has grown even faster than what we've had in total for the group. Manufacturing, Uli touched on this, a combination of acquisitions of great companies, but also organically building out our capabilities to be local and make sure we have the products you need in each of the markets in the Americas, obviously with the big decision in low voltage products to take and build yet another local capability coming in Tennessee where we'll be able to actually reach out and support our customers even greater. Revenue growth, you can see what's taking place in the Americas, and really our DNA is about our technology and how we bring that to life. So if you step back and talk about the various sectors that Uli mentioned, the key challenges and trends, what we have at Automation and Power World are many themes that address these. And I'll touch on just a couple with some examples, but this is really the picture for the utility customers in terms of what are you bringing to help us solve these challenges, whether it be on grid hardening, grid resilience, grid consulting, our new Symphony Plus that deals with power generation and another generation of DCS to continue to build on strong control systems in this area. Offering a wider range of utility scale solar to deal with renewables and what's happening with the sustainable value chain that Uli mentioned earlier. Yes, a leader, but also in all sizes now with our inverters, whether it's utility scale, commercial, or residential. The modernization and digitization of the grids, whether it's at a substation level or at the connected nodes, smart grids where we've been a leader for years and we continue to invest and grow. So let's take a look at a couple of these as to what's really happening in this market to address some of these challenges. You may have seen we announced Kodiak Island, and this is really a fantastic story where existing wind with its intermittent profile was very much a source of supply, and although you may not be able to see the details, there was a large crane installed. And as that demand for energy went up, balancing the grid became a challenge. ABB, together with our consulting team, came in and studied the issues and supplied really a grid that allows stability and reliability, where we could balance the renewable load with some new connections with this crane and energy storage, using a capability for control and power that we could bring together to stabilize the power here in Kodiak Island. If you take a look at digitization of the grid, First Energy is an excellent example. Here at First Energy, and you can see their map of territories, ran into some challenges of how do you automate the data and the devices, and how do you bring back that information reliably. ABB's response, we used our acquisition of a few years ago, Tropos, that has a very strong wireless offering to bring together that information, reduce the operating and maintenance cost, more reliable communications, and really helping install to make sure it runs properly. If you look on the industry side, there's many examples in terms of what you'll see here at Automation and Power World. And across this entire portfolio, addressing each of the challenges are some major areas of innovation. Our digital relays that have a common protocol across whether it's industrial, utility, and really bringing together that information back to your control systems. Expanded lines of drives and motors on the energy efficiency side in terms of continued advancement with our product offerings there. Also looking at new acquisitions that fill out our portfolio even further. Take Spirit IT as part of our oil and gas offering. We've always had a very strong business in Total Flow, based in Oklahoma, that really measures flow, but it measures gas. And the gas flow is obviously a big market, especially here where there's a lot of shale reserves. But at the same time, how do we measure liquid and oil flow? So we partnered up, acquired a company called Spirit IT, demonstrated on the Technology and Solution Center floor. And what you'll see, this is a natural marriage. Already in the upstream flow business, now with a full solution, gas as well as oil. If you look at what we've done with the combination of bringing together the industrialization in the U.S. in the last year, partnering up with a major greenfield steel facility. Now, who would have thought a few years ago there would be a greenfield steel plant going in the southeast U.S.? It's happening right now. And Big River Steel connected with ABB on our power and automation technology to put together a very cost-efficient, flexible mini mill that allows our capabilities, whether it's in motors and drives, our rolling mill technology, our air separation, transformers and rectifiers, to really be the technology partner that combines power and automation into this very major greenfield investment. If you look at what we have on DCS, it is a market-leading position, as Uli mentioned. From an 800XA standpoint, what you'll see here is our new version 6, the next generation of 800XA, where we really look at the operator effectiveness and how to drive greater reliability, integrated control, bringing together safety systems together with electrical systems, and really studying the human factor on the control room design and layout. And you can see the advanced control room there in the picture. You may know that we've deployed an automation and electrical solution for the largest chemical plant in the world. And it's a combination of 26 facilities taking place in Saudi, with a combination of Aramco and the Dow Chemical Company, chose ABB as the power and automation partner, supplying, as you can see here, a very massive project where we're deploying not only the collaboration, but latest advanced technology built around our 800XA, but also involving our switchgear, our drives, and a number of our products here. And doing the project coordination, you can see not only on these independent plants, but also with many EPCs. So we address the trends across utilities and industries. So what are we doing in transport and infrastructure? You mentioned, Uli, earlier the data center announcement, which is the next release of some of the things we're doing with our decathlon system, which is really taking some of our knowledge, frankly, from what we've done in process control and applying it with specific purpose into data centers, which is really a digital factory that brings together asset management and a lot of the connections that we've learned so deeply over many decades in the process industry. If you look at some of our technology here, it's being deployed in many things we see with expansion. Here's an example in Los Angeles at Long Beach, where we've applied now our ship-to-shore cranes. We've looked at various tracking with a recent acquisition of a company called APS, where we can track where the containers are as they flow from the ship to the yard, back out to the truck. And this really takes technology and applies it to infrastructure and what has been referred to as smart cities, because look, trade is a big thing. And making sure the harbors are running efficiently and reliably is a big part of what we can bring as our solutions. Taking a look at the sustainable value chain, SEPTA in Philadelphia has had rail for some time. Here's an innovation that's taking place with a more traditional industry. And it allows us to take the electronics from the train that drive propulsion and also connect now to a renewable storage. So as that train's braking, in the past, it would have burned off the energy into waste, heat, coming from resistors, friction. Now we take that energy and we store it. Because actually, just like in your car, when you're stopping, you can regenerate that power if you have an electrical system and put it back into use for later. And that's exactly what's happening here with SEPTA. So I mentioned electric vehicles. ABB is very active in this expanding market worldwide. We've done projects that take a whole country at a time. In this case, you had a small one, Estonia, but also looking at China, where we're putting in the infrastructure together with the automobile manufacturers on the charging standards, along with the utilities that need to connect what will be more and more electric vehicles as the world continues to advance in this area. We're doing this with our fast charger systems, known as Terra. You'll see those when you go out into the exhibit area. We're also doing it with partnerships right here in Houston with NRG. And looking at it on the bus side with electric buses, we prototyped about 1.5 years ago how we can apply our power electronics and power technology to drive electric buses. And we think this is yet another innovation and breakthrough that'll help make power and productivity certainly for a better world. So there's an enormous amount of innovation going on. We've applied it to your industries. We've checked it against what are the key trends and how do we help you advance your company to go to the next level. And it's been our passion for over 100 years. But to bring this to reality, it's our partners, it's our employees, and it's our customers that bring this to life. We innovate together, we listen and respond to your needs. And in that category of listening and responding, I think some of you know, each year we take time in between our automation and power world here in the Americas that comes every 2 years. We take time with our customers to take feedback, and your feedback from this event is critical to say, what did you like? What can we do even better? And I'd like to take a moment to recognize the team that helped put this together. This is a cross-section of customers, utilities, industries, distributors, also EPC customers. And if I could just have you stand in the audience, I'd like to have the entire group recognize this team for what you've done. If you could stand, please. Thank you very much. Every year we finish and we say, how could it be any better the next year? And I could see, John, you smiling. You remember these conversations. Because when you come out of this, you just say, wow. But at the same time, we step back and say, this is about creating value and demonstrating how we collaborate together. And darn if you don't come back every year with ideas of how we make it even better. Our distributor partners are a big part of what we do and how we make sure we service our local customers effectively. As I mentioned before, this is not just about moving product. This is about adding value with local support, expertise, and an access to a wide range of ABB offerings to allow it to make it easier for you as a customer to do business. And this has been a huge growth profile for us in the US, Canada, and Mexico, which are very active markets in terms of strong distribution to take care of big geographies, many local needs. Uli talked about our culture. The culture that exists today, and one that we will continue to advance to take us to the next level. Giving back is a big part of our culture in what we do. We connect with our local communities. We do that in a number of ways with over 70 universities worldwide that we work with. We're very active in STEM education from pre-K to postdoc to make sure that technology, engineering, math, sciences all become core to keeping our folks active in terms of businesses like yours and businesses like ours. The ABB Foundation is a way we give back with a common purpose across our business strategy and our community strategy. But our biggest area of giving is actually our local employees. And this became a grassroots effort, and one I'm very proud of. Over the last 5 years, our local employees formed local activities of We Care, where they reach out to the local communities, whether you're in Wickliffe, whether you're in New Berlin, whether you're in Auburn Hills, whether you're in California, Houston, to connect with the communities and time volunteering to help those that could really benefit from our people being engaged. And while we're here, later in the week, we'll recognize Genesis Works. Genesis Works is an active area that takes young kids, and we heard from them the other day while we had our sales meeting here, and brings young kids that may be going astray and brings them and gives them a sense of purpose around technology, training, staying in school, and finishing and going for a strong professional job. And you can see our fellas here with the fancy haircuts that for cancer went ahead and actually shaved their head in what they wanted to do to demonstrate what we've done with St. Baldridge, which is a nationwide activity supporting kids with cancer. So let's just close with a couple of thoughts here about the event. Number one, we have this fantastic technology and solution center. This year what you'll find is we've laid this out when you walk in with our industry segments, first thing you see. So if you're a customer that's in utilities, transport and infrastructure, or industries, and we even went further in breaking out chemical, oil, and gas because of the large attendance in that area, that you identify with your industry and the things you can find about ABB and the innovations and the solutions. Behind this, we've laid out all the demonstrations from source to socket. Starting on the source with generating, that'll be in one area of the floor, moving then to transmit and distribute, then to connect to the electricity for more of a point of use, and operate and sustain, which is really how do you make the most of your investments on the ones you've made that you have out there running, with a full service offering around everything we do, that in each area you'll see the services as well as the technology we supply. Now I put this towards the end because I know what happens when I put a slide up like this is everyone looks at their smartphone. So we're almost near the end. There is an APW app that's running. You can download it from whichever media you use, whether it's the iOS, Apple platform, or Android. Search APW 2015. You'll find all the event info around the total schedule available, your personal schedule, the people that are here. Now, what you will need is your email to log in, and on your badge, you'll find a very small 6-digit number. That is your password. So if you haven't already downloaded, look at your badge. You can find your password. It's rather tiny, so other people can't read your password when they're greeting you. And you download that, and that is your app to go with. So bringing it all together, what I'd say, wow, harnessing the power of change, which we're talking about at Automation and Power World. The Americas is a great example of that. We've got the capabilities and the innovation to serve you. We've increased our business, and thanks to you having the faith and trust in us, Our distributors are very active in terms of making sure we also locally support. We see it in the attendance number. When we started this, and I was asked to do it Willie and I were talking backstage, some 10 plus years ago, we had 200 customers the first time we did it. We have 8,000 attendees here. So working together, the challenges, the mix of opportunities, harnessing change, I think we are very well positioned to take on the future together. We thank you for your confidence and your support, and to let you know, we will be doing this again in 2017, right back here. We will give you the exact date soon, and you may say, why can't you give us the exact date now? You have the month. We are waiting for the NFL to pick the Super Bowl date, believe it or not, which is also in Houston that year. And the NFL is looking at whether they're going to run the Super Bowl later in the year. We know we're good with March, but maybe it tells us as Americans there's going to be a longer season coming for the NFL. So that is the reason, and we should have this within the next few weeks. But mark down March. We're delighted you're here. It's an outstanding program we have lined up, and most of all, let's engage together to take on the future. Thank you very much.